Boy, the trailer for Hawkeye just dropped. Let me go ahead and hit play on that. I'm gonna need a minute. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. We just got the first trailer for the Hawkeye series premiering on Disney Plus November 24th. I think there's a lot of people that are gonna be sleeping on this show, but after watching this trailer, they might be pretty pumped for it because it looks like a lot of fun. So what I'm gonna do here for you guys is giving you my trailer breakdown on the Hawkeye trailer, pointing out some details you might have missed, a little bit of Easter eggs here and there, where in the comics they're taking inspiration from, and some of the surprises we could see along the way of this Hawkeye series. But I'm gonna need your guys' opinions down below. Are you excited at all for Hawkeye to get his own Disney Plus series? Are you liking the Christmas vibes? Is there anything you caught that I might have missed? As well as don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you want more great movie related content headed your way. Alright, so before even diving into the trailer, we have to talk about where this is taking inspiration from in the comics. This Hawkeye series is going to take heavy inspiration from the latest Matt Fraction run of the character, which has kind of become the most popular solo run that Hawkeye has had in the comics. It really nailed down the street level hero that Hawkeye is, not being afraid to use him as a punching bag, as he gets beat around a lot in that series, and it kind of embraces the fact that he is one of the weakest Avengers, but has one of the coolest powers, or I guess I should say abilities. As we go through this trailer, we'll see a lot of callbacks to this specific comic run. But opening up here, we follow the Hawkeye family in New York as it seems like they've gone on vacation for the holidays. As we last left Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame, he was suffering from the loss of his entire family being snapped away and the journey he had to take to get them back. And we know this is a reformed man because he finally got rid of that haircut that I don't know what was going on in Endgame, Hawkeye. Now it is interesting to note that in the specific shot, the mother isn't present, played by Linda Cardellini. She might just be in the bathroom in this specific scene, but for all we know, this just might have been a father and kids trip. From there, we cut to what I think is hilarious here. In New York City, they went ahead and made a Captain America musical about his life titled Rogers the Musical. We do get to see shots of that musical later on in the trailer here, where you have Steve Rogers, characters who are supposed to be T'Challa, I guess Hulk, Thor, Loki, Iron Man up top, Black Widow, Hawkeye. I'm gonna fully want to hear the review of Hawkeye after that show's done. From there, we start to get an idea of the plot that'll be going down in this Hawkeye series and how Hawkeye will be coming in contact with Kate Bishop, that is a member of the Young Avengers, but also joined Hawkeye along his Matt Fraction comic run, where the majority of that is spent with them as hero and sidekick. And Kate Bishop, played by the beautiful Hailee Steinfeld here, is really taking up the mantle of Hawkeye as far as starting out with his Ronin role. This is where the Hawkeye series will be a lot about. Is Hawkeye finally going ahead and paying consequences for being Ronin? Because in Avengers Endgame, after the snap and his family went away, Hawkeye made it his mission to go after bad guys who did not deserve to live from the snap and became judge, jury, and executioner, killing as many bad guys as he could. I'm going to be really curious to see what kind of consequences they give Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. But seeing this memory from his past, Hawkeye feels it's his obligation to go ahead and stop it, sending his family off probably back to their farm, as he's going to stay in New York to try and figure out who is Ronin. But one important thing to notice here, as he's talking to his daughter, if you look into his ear, that's not an earpiece to be communicating with a bunch of different Avengers or teammates. This again is more inspiration from the Fraction run of Hawkeye, where he is losing his hearing, and this would make a lot of sense with the battle he just had in Endgame, with dealing with a huge explosion around him. I think it is really awesome that they're bringing this into the actual show, because it's a new little weakness for Hawkeye to kind of make him not at his peak, and it's also a new struggle he has to overcome. We transition to the Marvel logo with snow in the background and Christmas music playing, already making me have a cozy feeling with this show. And we find Hailee Steinfeld's Ronin fighting off a group of goons. Now these goons come directly from that comic Hawkeye series. These guys are known as the Tracksuit Draculas, and although they're never really a big threat to Hawkeye or Kate Bishop, since they're just street level goons, it's usually who they're working for that is actually the threatening part. In the comics, they were led by Ivan Bananos, but there's been heavy reports that we might see Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin show up somewhere in the Hawkeye series. If this comes to be, I would not be surprised that Kingpin has these guys on his payroll. We then go ahead and see that Hawkeye stops the new Ronin, and it's revealed to be Kate Bishop. And now that I'm thinking about this, I am wondering how they're going to explain this, because as far as we know, the Ronin in character is not revealed to the world that it was Hawkeye. I think that might have been a secret that the Avengers were okay with keeping to themselves and not letting the world know that, hey, one of the members of our superhero team just went ahead around killing people for all those 5 years. So I'm going to be interested to know how Kate Bishop found out that it was actually Hawkeye, or if it's just going to be a major coincidence that she took up that mantle and she also happens to be an expert archer, or if maybe at the beginning of Hawkeye's Ronin days, he somehow saved Hailee Steinfeld's character and she grew to admire him all this time. But we find out that whatever is at hand, Hawkeye still feels responsible at wanting to stay in New York and figure out who's behind the tracksuit Draculas and whatever devious plot is going on in New York. The main villain of the series is rumored to be Froffy, who plays this white-faced clown in the Hawkeye comic series. He'll most likely be the one revealed to be working with the tracksuit Draculas, and is really nothing more than another creepy clown in a line of creepy clowns in comics and horror. From there, the trailer just goes on showing different shots of the actual series. I really do like kind of the campy nature of this, like Hawkeye throwing back that fire, him jumping out of buildings with Christmas lights in the background, and even this moment here where Hawkeye is just covered in ice packs, it's still taken from that Hawkeye comic series, because in that comic, Hawkeye gets beat around a lot and is always walking around with cuts, bruises, and bandages. So even if you didn't like Hawkeye, at least you'll get to see him get beat up a lot here. As those shots are going on in the trailer, we do get a hint at a famous little character from that comic run, and that is Lucky the Pizza Dog. This is a stray that Hawkeye's character found in the comics, who saved his life and returned the favor by saving the life of this dog. And of course, because you guessed it, his name's Lucky the Pizza Dog. The man enjoys eating pizza. We even see at one point in the trailer that Hawkeye and Kate Bishop's character go ahead on a LARPing mission. That's live action role play, because while it looks like they might be fighting here, I think Hawkeye's just having some fun with a couple of geeks in the park who are probably fanboying that an Avengers is among them. We get a shot here of Vera Farmiga, who is actually playing the mother of Kate Bishop. She might be used for flashbacks, or she could be behind a lot of this. And in a blink and you miss moment, we get here our first reveal of the character of Ekko, another surprise member from the Daredevil world that'll be popping up in the Hawkeye series. Her background and origin is directly linked to Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, with him killing her parents. All the more reason why Vincent D'Onofrio should show up in this series. Ekko's abilities are photographic reflexes, meaning she's basically just like Taskmaster, that if she sees you do any sort of fighting move, she can perfectly replicate it herself. It's rumored she's getting her own spin-off series, and I probably bet you that's where Taskmaster will end up. Since that character is still alive by the end of Black Widow, it'd be kind of cool to see two photo reflex characters fight against each other, because they just be copying each other. Since we're on the topic of characters showing up from Black Widow, it's also rumored that Yelena Belova is going to be showing up in the Hawkeye series, as we saw in the post-credit scene of Black Widow, where Yelena is given Hawkeye as a target because he's being falsely blamed for the death of Natasha. I think that's what I'm most interested to see about this Hawkeye series, is how they bring Yelena into this, and whether Hawkeye and her will become friends, or will Yelena actually be the one to kill Hawkeye. But that is everything I caught from the Hawkeye trailer. I'm really excited for this. It looks like a lot of fun. Hailee Steinfeld looks amazing and is set to be a future Young Avenger. Are there any things you caught that I might have missed? What are your thoughts and theories for the series? Anything and everything, be sure to leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3CFilms, or on TikTok at 3CFilms. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.